What is up, guys? I'm Ace Crypto. Thank you very much for joining me today. So today we're going to go to a deep dive of Worldcoin. Pretty sure a few of you heard of Worldcoin already, but we're going to do a bit of a deep dive. So let's jump on in. So Worldcoin came out a few days ago. It was created by the guy from Chatgpt, Sam Altman. A lot of relationship with Elon Musk as well. Elon Musk and him pretty much broke up because of Elon Musk's thought on the AI situation. Elon Musk thought Sam was pushing AI too far, too soon. Not for me to comment on that one, guys, but we're going to jump on over to Worldcoin. We're going to go through exactly what Worldcoin is, step by step by step. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about today is a bit of the technical information on Worldcoin Tokenomics, etc. So the Worldcoin mission. The mission of Worldcoin is to build the world's largest identity and financial network as a public utility, giving ownership to everybody. So what does he mean by this? Ownership to everybody. So basically he wants to scan everybody's iris and start paying you in tokens. So it's all about essentially proof of personhood is the way they're calling it. Proof of personhood. Not too sure these words, proof of personhood, it's a very odd situation. Humanness, they're using very, very strange words to talk about this. The preceding sections explain the necessary for a universal, secure, and inclusion proof of personhood. Additionally, they will discuss why iris biometrics appears to be the sole feasible path for a POP, proof of personhood, mechanism. So basically, it's going to go into a deep dive as to why exactly this is one of the best ways to do a proof of personhood. I mean, we've got a little bit at the end about Vitalik Buterin talking why this isn't ideal, isn't ideal. So we'll go on and read a few bits and bobs. To get a world ID, the individual begins by downloading the World app. Ready on the App Store, you can just download the World app, sign up, and then basically you need to get verified by an orb. So if I jump on over, which one is the orb on? It's on one of these ones. Could be there. Sorry, guys. So many different words and so many different categories. That's proof of personhood. Pretty sure it's on this one. Where's the orb? There she blows. So this is the orb, essentially. This is what scans your retina and basically gives you your own ID. So I can see it being very useful in countries which don't have passports. I think it's like 51% of Africans own a smartphone at the moment, which is going to bump up to 80% in the future. So they'll have access to smartphones, but I can't see a world where these are accessible every 5 miles. There's a lot of people in the world, essentially, and that's another thing we can talk about, actually, is the Worldcoin supply. So we'll jump on over to Worldcoin supply real quickly. We can see 110 million circulating at the moment. So there's 110 million tokens are being traded at the moment, with a max supply of 10 billion. So the idea behind the supply is everybody gets one. Tell them, Peter, everybody gets one. I know it's a little bit more than one, but I think they got a little bit too... a little bit of a reserve, essentially. So everybody gets one or gets paid in some form of Worldcoin. To be honest, they're not giving a lot of details. I don't understand how you can be paid in Worldcoin for having an ID and also everybody gets one. So it's a very confusing issue there. So I'd like to say as well, there's a few different ways to get paid Worldcoin. So the number one way is to actually get yourself verified, and as you get verified, you will receive World tokens. Another way is to get yourself a verification orb and then verify other people. So that's another way you could go about it. So there are a few different ways that you can earn this cryptocurrency. I don't think it's going to be a world-breaking cryptocurrency. I don't think it's going to be, like people are saying, the Bitcoin killer. It doesn't really have the use case in the Western developed world, We all have passports, we all have IDs already. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fraud that goes on, but fraud is also stopped quite early on, if you understand what I mean. Across multiple platforms and services. So apparently you're going to be able to verify yourself on multiple platforms and multiple services. Like that's very, very interesting. On and off ramp built into the application, which we do like. An on and off ramp is always a good thing, depending on which country you're in, obviously, depending on availability of providers. So it does depend which country you're in and which exchange you have access to. You can also swap tokens through the decentralized exchange, pretty standard there. So basically there's not much innovation going on here. We got a swap feature, we also have an on and off ramp, and it's basically a KYC feature is the best way to think about this. It's a KYC feature, know your customer. So a lot of us are putting our IDs online anyway just to get KYC, so I don't understand the difference in this and that, if you understand what I mean. Not really in the grand scheme of things. Once verified through the orb, individuals are issued a World ID. Through World ID, they can claim a set amount of World each week. So how does everybody get one, but you can also claim it every week? There's also something about a universal basic income as well, that if you are lucky enough to be eligible and get picked, you do get a universal income, which is great. Everybody likes free money, let's be honest. So there's a few other different things. So this is the orb broken down. So Vitalik Buterin talks a lot about problems with privacy, like privacy. So even though this is quite self-sustaining in the way that this software is quite, I wouldn't say airtight, but it's pretty good. You know, the software is pretty good. A lot of people are complaining, saying, what about these machines? Where are they made? What if someone puts a back door in one of these machines? What then? So there's a few different things we can talk about on that one. What have we got written down there? Yeah, so it's basically, it's a very bullish for the crypto narrative as well. So we got AI and crypto all into one coin essentially. So it's interesting to speak about. We can jump on over to this Sam Altman. So Sam Altman is very big on Chatgpt, we all know that. So he's big on crypto as well. Elon Musk launching X.com as well this week. So it's all very bullish for crypto. It's all going in the right direction, guys. So even though this might not be the best project that's ever come across us, you know, it's still very bullish for crypto in the grand scheme of things. So there is a few other bits and bobs we need to talk about. Just need to scroll on down and find me highlights. There we go. For content in this section, the terms are defined below. So it's basically this determined which people, well, basically you got users, credentials, issuers, and verifiers. So these are all the different stages within the Worldcoin application that you can participate, essentially. You could be a user, you could be the credential, a collection of data that serves as a proof of particular attributes of the user and indicate the user is a human being. This could range from things like possession of a valid UK ID to being verified as a human with unique through the biometrics. The biometrics as in the scan, the eye scan. So there's a few other things. The verifier, we've got the issuer, a trustworthy entity that affirms certain information about the users and grants them a POP credential. So this is the person that actually issues the credential that says, yes, you are a person. We also have the verifier that verifies an entity that examines a user's POP credentials and checks its authentication. Checks, you know, basically, so you get one person that gives you your World ID and another person that checks it, and also you have you as the user. Super interesting there, guys. Nothing really, you know, groundbreaking. It's quite old technology in the way that, like, biometrics has been around for a very, very long time. So I don't see this as anything that we can start jumping up and down because of. Distinguish between billions of people. I mean, that's just because of the iris has everyone's iris is different. Basically, you can distinguish between people very, very quickly, very, very easily. Person bound. So this was an interesting one. This was a person bound ID. I'm sure you've heard of sold bound NFTs. Similar type of situation when it's only bound to you and you only. Hard to sell or steal, i.e. transfer, and hard to lose. Could be, but there are fake people, fake 3D printed people available at the moment. It just needs to wait to see how far these fake irises can actually be. So I wouldn't go as far as to say it's hard to sell or steal yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Probably at the moment it is. So we can go over the proof of mechanism there, proof of pertinent mechanism. So these are the different types of verifications. As you can see there, we've got online accounts, we've got KYC, web of trust, social graphs, and biometrics. As you can see there, we've got privacy, fraud resistance, inclusivity and scalability, decentralization, and personhood. So the only one that ticks all these boxes is the biometrics, which is going to be what Worldcoin use. Biometrics is in the iris scanner. So the rest of it, you know, you do have problems somewhere. We've got a lot of privacy, you know, a lot of secure privacy, but as you can see there, not a lot of fraud resistance. KYC is pretty good there, as you can see, with fraud resistance, but it's not scalable, it's not decentralized, because KYC is all stored by a single entity, usually. So say you KYC yourself with Binance, for instance. Binance now stores your information, so it's not decentralized, you know. So there's a lot of different possibilities here, but if you look, it says possible. It doesn't say definitely, it says possible, because there's always problems somewhere along the line. There's always going to be problems to sort out. This is another one. Yeah, so these are the biometric modalities. So these are the different types of biometrics that you can actually use: fingerprint, face, DNA, and iris. So as you can see there, privacy, Fingerprint, face, and iris are all pretty good. DNA not, because obviously DNA is shared by a lot of family members, bits and bobs. Accuracy of global scale. We got scalability, modification, and liveness detection. So it detects if you're alive. I didn't notice that the first time around. So your fingerprint is very hard to tell if you're still alive, and your DNA is hard to tell if you're still alive. Your face, I mean, your face could look pretty white and pasty, so interesting. It says good there and not high. See, iris scan is not a good, not a high or hard indicator of essentially life. Super interesting there, guys. So it's just more stuff there. So this is the white paper of Worldcoin. Just thought I'd mention that one if you guys do want a proper read. Very, very interesting stuff. Let's go back onto technicals over here a second. Sure, we got some more bits to talk about. Let me scroll on down here. I'm sure I highlighted more than this. Was it on the end one? I'm sure I highlighted a bit more than this, but we'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Or maybe it was on the Vitalik Buterin thing. So basically, we're gonna move on, guys. We're gonna move on. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is this going to be an interesting situation, or are you guys worried for the future? So this is going to be Vitalik Buterin's rebuttal, essentially. Vitalik Buterin's rebuttal to a lot of this biometric stuff. So he's not he mentions Worldcoin specifically, but there are other what would you call them? Other proof of personhood mechanisms out there. So he does mention Worldcoin by name there, but he also mentions Circle, what's that? Gitcoin Passport, Sizemo. There's a few different ones. Bright ID. So there's a few different versions of the same situation. They use different versions of, like, one might not use biometrics, one might use something different. Well, they'll still use biometrics, but maybe not iris scan, maybe fingerprint scan, maybe other things. So like I said, though, the thing about this is we don't really need this in the Western world. We don't need proof of identity. We all really know who we are. We've all got identifications. We all have letters. It's different in places like Africa that barely have banks. So, and I don't understand, even with a mobile phone, you're not going to be able to verify all these people quick enough without having 10,000 of these shipped over to Africa tomorrow. So I'm a bit confused, really. I don't understand where this fits in the grand scheme of things, you know? KYC isn't ideal. It really isn't ideal. But soulbound tokens are probably going to be something that's going to shoot over in the future. If you KYC yourself with something like maybe a government, you know, you KYC yourself with some government, and then you can actually log into all these Web3 programs using the governmental KYC. Problem with this, obviously, is decentralization, because it's not very decentralized because it's going through a government. So the problem with privacy is the main reason, the main thing we're speaking about at the moment is privacy. Like, there's a multitude of different privacy ways, proof of this, proof of that, zero knowledge, roll-ups. There's thousands of different ways. We just need to work out one of the better ways to do this, and this doesn't seem like it to me. So we'll have to wait and see a little bit more, guys. We'll have to wait and see a little bit more. I did highlight some bits and bobs. Where's it gone? There we go. What are the major issues with Worldcoin's construction? Privacy. The registry of iris scans may reveal information. At the very least, if someone else scans your iris, they can check it against the database to determine whether or not you have a world ID. Potentially, iris scans may reveal more information. So if you're giving someone your iris scan just to confirm yourself, you know, it seems like a very interesting, you know, back and forth, essentially. Accessibility. World IDs are not going to be relatively accessible unless there are so many orbs that anyone in the world can easily get one. Exactly. Unless there's one in every local shop, there isn't going to be enough orbs or enough verification out there to actually get yourself verified regularly, if you know what I mean. Construction, so centralization. The orb is a hardware device, and we have no way to verify that it's constructed safely and does not have backdoors. Hence, even if the software layer is perfect and fully decentralized, the Worldcoin Foundation still has the ability to insert a backdoor into the system, letting it create arbitrary many human fake IDs. So the problem with this one is obviously, like, even if the company they're using currently to make these orbs are 100% legitimate, not doing anything at all, there will be frauds, there will be counterfeits. And as soon as there's a counterfeit out, that's it, it's all over. Security. User phones could be hacked. Exactly. Even if you got all your World ID logged on, it could still be hacked like any other wallet, and boom, your crypto's gone. So super interesting thing to think about there, guys. We're jumping over to the Worldcoin tokenomics real quickly, and we'll just go over the price at the moment. So what do I think? What do I actually think about this? So I'm not a massive fan. I don't think it's a scam essentially, but I don't think it's going to be a world-breaking coin. You know, we can see the volume is down a little bit from last night, but if you look here, if the market cap was fully diluted, you can see there that's $22 billion, $22 billion with a fully diluted market cap, which would put it at the top 5 roughly in our current market cap of crypto. So that's something to consider there. If it was fully diluted, then that's going to be an astronomical amount of money, essentially. You know, 22 billion. So something to consider there, guys. We're at $2.25 today. We have come down a lot over the past 24 hours. You can see there. I'll jump onto the 7-day. We did ICO at, I believe, 192, roughly around that mark, and we are 225 now. So it hasn't really rose that much. We did have a bit of a pump yesterday, as you can see, which is pretty standard for an ICO around the board, you know. ICO, boom, sell off, and then we just trickle along forever. So I don't see a lot happening with this one in the next couple of months. We'll have to wait and see, guys. We'll have to wait and see. But if Vitalik Buterin's not a big fan of it, then I don't know why we should be either. So there's a few other things we can talk about here. There's a few differences. What are the accessibility issues of biometric proof of person systems? So accessibility issues, we can see there, somewhere between 51 and 64% of sub-Saharan Africans now have smartphones. This seems to be projected to 87% by 2030. While there are billions of smartphones, there are only a few hundred orbs. Even with a much higher scale distribution manufacturing, it would still hard to get the world where the orbs need to be within 5 kilometers of everybody. So there's a multitude of different reasons. I can't understand how everybody gets one token, supposedly, but people also get paid every week for having a world ID. I don't know whether it's only going to be a finite amount of coins you're going to be given, or whether it's only going to be a finite amount of weeks that you'll be able to receive them. Something to think about in the future, guys. Something to think about. So let me know down in the comments below what you actually think about Worldcoin. Are you going to be investing in this one, or do you think it's a bit of a poo coin? A bit of a poo coin. Sounds a little bit like OneCoin, doesn't it? You know, sounds a little bit like OneCoin, and we don't like OneCoin, obviously. If you don't know what OneCoin is, guys, go and have a little bit of research and give yourself a laugh. Give yourself a laugh. So that's pretty much all we got. I think that's pretty much all we got. Third world ID checks, paid for your eye scans. Yep. Get extra to get new people on board. They've got the apps. Be good for bots, essentially, you know. So you'll like say Twitter has this biometric login, for instance. You can log in with Worldcoin. If you can log in with Worldcoin, then you can't log in as a bot, essentially, because you have to prove who you are before you enter the space. Interesting. Doubt Twitter will do this because they want to keep some form of anonymity to some of these accounts, but they will be removing bot accounts apparently. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, guys. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, so quite bullish, as we said. You know, it's quite bullish for the crypto industry in general, because it's using crypto to actually use some form. You know, it's connecting the dots in it. You know, it's connecting Elon Musk to what's his name, Sam Altman. Is connecting all the dots. Essentially, is the AI narrative that's pushing really strongly, because this will feature some form of AI authentication, I do believe. So that's something to consider there. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure you smash on the sub button, all the good things. Comment down below, give yourself a likes. Really appreciate all the love on the channel recently, guys. Really, really do. And we'll be back later on for the market breakdown.